Checking out the world champions of baseball, an underwater adventure, and aerobics. All this and more on this edition of Toronto High Five. Welcome to Toronto High Five. I'm Weiss. As always, we've got a great show lined up for you. As you can tell, spring is finally here, and that means your World Series champs, the Toronto Blue Jays, are just about ready to start the season. The question on everybody's mind is, can they three-peat? But there are lots of other questions, so we took our cameras to the street.
My favorite Jay is Paul Molitor, and I'd like to ask, do you think you're a role model?
My favorite Blue Jay is Paul Molitor also, and I want to ask him what his most embarrassing moment was.
Joe Carter, and who was his role model when he was a kid?
Player is John Olerud, and I want to ask him how long he's going to stay in the Blue Jays, and if he's not, what team he's planning to go to.
Okay, my favorite Jay is Randy Knorr, and I was just wondering if what does he feel about the back-catching situation with the Jays?
Rob Butler. And what I'd like to ask him is what's the greatest thing about being a Blue Jay?
Ed Sprague, and I wanted to ask him how he thinks the Jays are going to do this year.
John Olerud, and I'd like to know who was his role model when he was growing up.
My favorite Jay is Domingo Martinez, and I'd like to ask him, would you play left field?
My favorite player is Rob Butler, and I'd just like to ask him why he wears the socks on top as opposed to underneath.
Is Carlos Delgado, and I want to ask him, is he happy being a backup catcher for Pat Borders?
I'm Robert Perez, and with all this competition, does he still have a good time at the spring training?
Paul Molitor, and what do you think about the season this year if he's going to win?
My favorite Jay is Joe Carter, and I'd ask him how did it feel to hit that winning World Series home run.
My favorite Jay is Roberto Alomar, and I want to ask him if he has a girlfriend.
Those are some good questions, and to get them answered, we're going to head out to Cito and the boys. Check it out. Joining me now is Robert Perez, hoping to make the Blue Jays staff of 1994. Robert, you're trying for left field. How does it look so far?
You know, right now I feel comfortable. Yesterday I played one game. My first time I feel good. And I think, my spring training right now is okay. And I want to play more and try to tell them I can play in the Major League.
So what are your expectations for 1994?
Well, I expect this team to get back to the World Series. I think that's the team goal. Personally, I think I'd like to, increase my numbers offensively and take it from there.
What do you think the chances of the Blue Jays are for 94?
I think good. We got a lot of the guys back. I think everybody's hungry to do it again. The new format hurts us a little bit, but I think we got the playoff experience, and the division's always the toughest part. So if we don't get any major injuries, I think we got a good chance to anybody.
As a batter, what pitcher do you fear most going up against?
Well, I don't fear any of them, but I don't like to face Randy Johnson, that's for sure. He's big and tall and not too pretty.
Does he go headhunting sometimes?
I don't think purposely, but he throws awful hard, and he's had a history of being a little wild, but he's probably the guy I've had the toughest time against.
So as long as you have some fingers, there'll be room for World Series rings, right?
That's right.
Good luck, Ed Sprague.
Right, thank you.
Joining us now is Blue Jays catcher Randy Knorr. Randy, welcome to Toronto High Five.
Thank you. Thanks.
So you happy with your spring training so far?
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I haven't played that much yet, so kind of early to really judge how I feel about myself.
So how do you feel about the back catching situation with the Blue Jays now? I mean, I read some things in the paper, but you can never trust what you read in the paper. So I figured I'd ask you personally.
Well, I don't read the paper anymore, so I have no idea. I hear there's a lot of trade rumors going on. I really don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it because half of them don't even come true. Don't want to get my hopes up or down, so I just kind of stay away from that. I can't tell you what they're thinking up there, so I just go about my business, and if they want to trade me, they trade me. If not, I stay here.
If Borders is traded, would you be comfortable being a platoon player with Carlos Delgado?
Well, I never thought of myself as being a platoon player or a backup catcher. I consider myself an everyday catcher some year, and if I have to platoon now until I establish myself, that's fine with me as long as I get a chance to play.
So did you enjoy your year last year with Toronto Blue Jays, World Series again?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, anytime you go to the World Series again, I mean, it's a good thing to do. You know, it's an accomplishment, and hopefully we can do it again.
So how's your spring training been so far?
So far, so good. You know, they give me an opportunity to play almost every other day, get my at-bats. So I feel like I'm doing a good job. I feel pretty comfortable. You know, I'm pretty good fit right now.
There's no shortage of power for you, is there?
Well, you know, sometimes we get lucky, hit the ball in the sweet spot, they carry well. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Would you be happy being back up for Pat Borders?
Well, that's a tough decision right there. I don't know if they're going to do that, but I guess we got to start somewhere.
Well, when you win that World Series ring, show it to me, okay?
I will do that.
Thanks a lot, Carlos.
No problem.
Is it realistic?
It's, I'm not sure if it's realistic. It's definitely our goal to get back there and try to be the first team in 2 decades to win 3 in a row. But it's going to be an interesting challenge for us. But I like how our club's starting to shape up.
I don't know, do you have room on your fingers for another ring?
I think we can always find room for another one. I'm very excited about opening day getting my first one, but there's no question that now that we're back to spring training and getting ready for another season, you start to rejuvenate those engines a little bit and start focusing on this year's championship.
Have you been happy with your spring training so far?
It's been a little bit slow starting for myself, but thankfully we still have, well over 3 weeks to go, and it's just a matter of getting some games and continuing to prepare. Physically, I feel fine. It's just a matter of not swinging the bat as well as I like, but it's still early, so I think we're on schedule.
Do you consider yourself a role model, Paul Molitor?
Well, I'm not sure if I consider myself one. I do believe that, with the position of professional athletes being so much in the social spotlight, that you do have some responsibility in those regards. And while we're not perfect, I think we have some expectations that we have to meet. But the main thing is just to go out and respect people. If you respect people, then hopefully we'll respect you in return.
So if you do win